Hey Jason, welcome to B&H.
Oh, hey, how's it going? Thanks
I
for having me
heard you were
here.
stopping by, so I wanted to ask you 21 questions.
Let's
do you
do
have some
it.
time?
Absolutely.
So tell me, what type of photographer are you?
What type of photographer am I? I would like to say I love landscape, cityscapes. We've been doing a lot of travel, so a lot of travel photography.
And what camera and lens do you normally shoot with?
So normally right now I've been using the Sony a7S III, the A1 with a 24G master, and the Zeiss spot is 85mm.
So what was your first camera?
Oh man, I think it was a Casio little point and shoot. Do they still even have those nowadays? Little Casio point and shoot. I remember my videos were like 320 by like 240. It was so small, but that's what I was using to make like these short little YouTube videos back in like 2004. Oh my God.
Well, speaking of, so what got you started in photo and video?
Well, I already had a passion in like video. I think back when I was in high school, I had a history teacher that was like, you know, you guys should make like a video for like your final project, reenacting some of the more historical moments. And that's when I was like captivated by like, you know, just getting a bunch of friends doing little short little skits and just uploading it for a class to see. So I would say that's how my passion for video started. As for photos, I think one day I was trying to do like a video interview with a band, and their manager was like, I can't have you interview them, but I can give you a photo pass. And I was like, I've never shot photos before. So I just kind of winged it. But ever since then, I just love doing like event photography, concert photography, because I love things that just unfold in front of me and I'm just there trying to capture the moment.
So those previous videos, do they still exist?
Let's just say if you look hard enough, I'm gonna go home and start privating them.
Oh my God. And so I think it goes without saying, you are a gearhead, right?
I am. I would say I'm a gearhead.
And so why do you love to test so many products?
I think it's because they're just so fun. It's just kind of interesting to see, you know, how far and like, you know, these technological progresses for like camera gear, lenses, audio. It's just a fun time to just be excited and just play with what's available out there just to like help you make better video, make better content, make better photos. So I think that's like a lot of excitement in that, you know, how does technology help us create the best work that we possibly can? Oh, tripods.
And so how did you get so good at shooting and then transition to teaching on YouTube?
I would say it's not so much as to like I was coming in as an expert. I learned a lot of my photography and videography techniques from YouTube. And when I was actually researching some of the Sony cameras, back in the day, they were like, before they had hit peak popularity, I noticed that not a lot of people were sort of producing content for us. So I was like, you know, why not share my experience? You know, give back to the community that I learned so much from. So I went in, I was just like talking, you know, my experience with, you know, the Sony cameras. And then people started asking me, they're like, well, how did you take this photo? How did you get this shot? So that's just sort of how it evolved into like a, I guess, photography and videography tutorial channel as well.
Sure. And so I did notice that you primarily shoot Sony. Why do you shoot Sony?
Well, kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, how like I didn't see a lot of people talking about Sony cameras. So at the time, I was looking for the perfect hybrid camera, a camera that's full frame, that can do 4K videos, that can do amazing photo quality. But I was shooting with two different systems at the time. So let's go over to the Sony booth and we'll talk more. So like I was saying, I was looking for the perfect hybrid camera. I was kind of shooting with two different systems. And so I was like, you know, there wasn't a camera until now where we have a full frame sensor that can shoot 4K and utilize both full frame lenses and crop lenses. This is where it all started, right here. So this is not the exact same camera, this is the A7R III, but I started off with the A7R II, and at the time, both the A7S II and the A7R II were like the highly talked about camera in the underground camera community. So I noticed the A7R, you know, a lot of people were talking about how the A7S II was such a good video camera. I discovered that the A7R II was the perfect hybrid camera. So I started talking a lot about that on YouTube, found a system that works for me, and I just shared it on YouTube. That's how I started shooting with Sony, and that's how I grew my channel as well.
That's awesome. And you've gained such a huge following on YouTube. Did you ever think you'd get to this point when you were starting out?
I don't think so. I think when we hit 100,000 subscribers, what was it, 2 years ago, Vivian? 3 years ago? I was like, wow, I hit my goal. And the fact that we now have over 300,000 subscribers is just definitely beyond my wildest dream.
And you do so much from vlogs to product. Do you have a team that helps you?
Right there. A beautiful girlfriend, Vivian.
Hi.
The team of two, us team of two. But if you guys would like to join my team.
And so what's your favorite part of what you do, from shooting, editing, creating?
You know, I don't like editing so much. We actually hired an editor, so we actually have a team of 3 now. Oh my God. So it's been incredibly helpful because I love to shoot, I love to present, I like to play with gear, and I would like all of that excitement to be edited by someone else and not me, so I can get on and just keep trying out new products, go out and shoot more, capture more, and just be creative in that aspect. And while someone else edits my video.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people can relate on that.
Oh, 100%.
And so I saw your recent video about leaving LA. Does this mean more exciting travel videos?
I think so. So we've been to London and Paris and now New York. And I would say since the pandemic, you know, comparing the pandemic videos that I was making versus the ones I'm making now, I just feel a lot better. There's been just so many different visuals. Like I just feel like, you know, my room is not just the only studio I have. My studio is like literally the entire world. It could be like a backdrop of a beautiful mountain or the Eiffel Tower or whatever. So I think that excitement when I'm out there capturing and presenting at the same time just makes for a good YouTube backdrop and a YouTube video, a good YouTube video.
And so do you have any projects coming up?
That's a good question. We are working on a street photography video, an ultimate guide to street photography video, because a video that I made with my friend, Professor Hines, crossed over 1.4 million views, and we're just like, oh my God. And this was before the pandemic, and we're just like, man, we should really get back together and just really make something amazing. So just last week, we shot 20 hours worth of footage detailing everything about what you need to know about doing street photography, the settings, I guess the composition, the lighting, all the way down to the editing. So it should be coming out at the end of March, so stay tuned for that.
So some people think you can't create much with a smartphone, and I know you do a lot with smartphones, so what are some tips for creating high quality video on your smartphone?
So a device that I have with me right now is the Xperia Pro I. So I love capturing photos and videos with this. So one thing I would say that's more common among smartphones is that they have great lenses already, but just don't zoom, because then you'll kind of ruin the quality of the video. So that would be my tip. Like, use the standard lenses, but don't try to zoom in these lenses, and you'll get the best quality possible from your smartphones.
That's a really good tip. And so...
Or should I move on to next?
Let's go to lenses for my next question.
Lenses, okay.
If you could only use one lens forever, which would it be?
Oh, that's such a hard question. Oh, man. I guess my 2 prime lens will be out of the question. So if I had to choose, probably have to go with something a little bit more versatile, probably like a 24-70 f2.8, like that lens right there.
And an even harder question, if you were to create the most absolute perfect camera setup, what would it be?
Oh, you know, right now, currently, Sony has the A7C. You know, I kind of want them to make like a version 2 where it has all the amazing features of the A7S III in that tiny form factor. So 4K, 120 frames per second in that tiny body, 10-bit 422. And you know, I'm okay with the 12 megapixel photos. We've been shooting a lot of photos and still editing in 12 megapixels, so we're fine with that. But if we have a little bit of a megapixel pump like 24, that would be great. So an A7C, A7S III, and an A7C type body.
Favorite city to photograph?
Oh, Japan, Tokyo. I would love to go back there. Hopefully they'll open soon, because there's so many things that we want to do. City is amazing, and the nature is amazing, the cherry blossom is amazing. Kind of bum we're missing out on that this year again, but hopefully next year we can go back and capture some cherry blossoms in Tokyo.
That's amazing. And favorite food?
Favorite food? I don't know. I tend to like to find the best cheeseburger everywhere I go.
Wow.
So we found one in Japan, we found one in London. You know, where's the best cheeseburger in New York? You guys should let me know.
That's a good question. I want to know that. Portrait or street?
I would say street, you know, kind of going back to what we were saying earlier. I kind of love things to happen in front of me and I want to be there to capture it rather than doing too much stage stuff. But portraits are fun too sometimes.
Night or day?
Ooh. Well, if it's gonna be day, it's gonna have to be sunrise or sunset.
And you kind of mentioned this with your perfect setup, but favorite Sony camera you're using right now?
Favorite camera, favorite Sony camera that I'm using right now? A7S III.
And this is a tough question. If there were to be a movie about your life, who would play you?
I don't know. Let's see here. Maybe Donnie Yen, you know, Kung Fu Master Ip Man. Yeah, you know, maybe him. He can bring in some, you know, he can make me look really cool, beating up bad guys and delivering camera reviews. Or maybe someone funny like Jimmy O Yang, you know, he could probably make me sound funnier than I am right now for my own YouTube video. So definitely these are the guys that I think would play a great, one would play a great young Jason Vong, the other one would play a great older,
okay, so
cooler.
we can go Jason through the years.
Yes. Oh, that'd be great. Even before I'm like a Kung Fu master.
That would be awesome. Okay, last question.
Whoa.
Who should we interview next?
Who should you interview next? So I made a new buddy out here in New York. You guys should totally interview Johnny Tai. He's a male fashion YouTuber, and I think it'd be pretty interesting to get his take on the whole camera gear stuff along with his fashion, because I inspire him to pick up the Sony camera, so you guys should totally get him out for 21 questions.
Awesome, absolutely. We'll call him right up. Okay, we'll let you play with all the toys in your toy store now.
Cool.
And thanks so much.
All right, I'll be inside, so you can find me here.